Hello world, welcome back to the Razor RC, and we are done with the build of the Team Associated B6.4 brand new two-wheel drive electric 110 scale race kit from Team Associated, you know, their latest and greatest. So I want to talk about the build and how it actually went. Here's my build. As you can see, electronics wise, I'm running a Savox 1267 SG Servo, the Black Edition, Hobbywing XR10 stock spec ESC, this ARX482R Sanwa compatible receiver, Gen Z 6000 milliamp hour redline battery, Team Power's Actinium 17.5 turn motor, a little racing fan there in the back. Options parts wise, I'm just running an Exotech aluminum servo horn that I used on my B6.3. I think it's pretty much compatible, although I did add a few washers there, bolstered washers basically, to get this link straight across, and no spacers here on the actual mount because it would rub otherwise. And then I'm also running Wits Racing ceramic bearings, so always run that in all my race kits. Makes the car a heck of a lot faster for stock racing. We do have a 20% off coupon code in the description below, so you can pick that up. I think it ends up being like $52. Pretty good deal for ceramic bearings, full set all the way around. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, also a slipper limiter here in the rear, just the standard Team Associate part. So yeah, I've got this just built to kit specs, although I did switch to a 2-gear planetary gears here in the gear differential rather than the standard 4-gear, but still got the 5K. We'll see how that actually runs and want to talk about the build. So first off, this buggy is pretty heavy. It's 1525 grams ready to run with tires. I'm running Schumachers on Schumacher wheels, cactus rear, cut staggers front. The body is very thick. I don't remember a Team Associated body being this thick before. Maybe it's just something changed, maybe it's just different, but yeah, the buggy is quite heavy out of the box. I mean, I'm not running super lightweight stuff. I have no titanium parts. Still running, you know, fairly long wires. I could probably trim down a little bit, but yeah, did seem a little odd out of the box there. But yeah, build wise, all the parts are excellent. Parts quality seems to get better every year with Team Associated. This seems like the best kit I've probably put together ever. From Team Associated. Plastics are super nice. They got the new 13mm bore shocks. They look super nice. Kind of this goldish silvery color. Not quite silver, not quite gold, kind of in between. But yeah, all the metals, plastics fit together. The transmission fit together way better than some of the previous ones. The steering blocks up front, which were again kind of an issue in earlier you know, Team Associated buggies. They are a brand new part, so they did redesign the front end here, the hubs, the spindles, all that stuff. So those are different and new parts, and they did seem to get it quite right. Ball cups are very free, pretty much perfect, at least out of the box. You know, they might wear over time, but yeah, super free. So the buggy overall, really nice kit. And parts quality seems super high, although it is heavy. In terms of the manual, I mean, it's got kind of the standard Team Associated errors in it. They didn't have any sort of errata, so I guess they have improved things in that regard. But yeah, just some weird things. I wouldn't say this is an error, but just a little less clear. So previous buggies, these are all like 10mm screws, flathead screws. Now there's 4 in the front and then 5 in the rear. They don't really tell you exactly which is which, but that is the way you'll want to do it. Otherwise, you're going to be using too long of screws in the back, and you will not really destroy your car, but probably not going to be right. Here in the, I guess, these set screws that hold down the sway bars, it says 3x3mm. I think it's actually 3x5mm set screws, so it does come with 3x5s. I would use those. Otherwise, they're going to be a little too short, and I think not really set very well. Another weird thing, the front sway bar links, these are plastic links. They're not in the same bag as the rest of these parts, so it's not bag 2. They're actually in the bags, I forget, 7 or 11 or something like that. But basically, the bag that comes with all the shock parts will also have those links, so you will have to go scrummage through those, or I just mounted these on later once I got to the actual shocks. They did change some things here. So one interesting thing, I don't think this was the case in in buggies past, but they are using a really long set screw with a nut for the rear shocks. So as you can see there, it's not just a standard button head cap screw, it's actually a long set screw or worm screw with a nut. So that's kind of something cool. It allows you to remove the shocks without fully, unthreading the whole screw from the arm. Saves your arms a little bit, so pretty cool. Maybe adds a little weight, I don't know, but that is unusual. So another change they made from previous buggies, 2 different length screws for the steering arms, so that did confuse me. I did not notice that. I guess I don't really read instructions well, but yeah, they are now using a 6mm screw in the front and a 8mm in the back. Make sure you double check that, because if you just build it assuming it was the same as before, it's not going to work. I think that was pretty much it in terms of just things to watch out for in the build. There are 2 different cut lines for the fans. I'm actually running a fairly short fan here in the back, so I didn't fully cut it out here in the back. You're supposed to cut all the way out around here, but I didn't really need to, so I left that. I did like the window masks with the window frames. I never did that before, but it looks cool, so I like that. And then other than that, yeah, the buggy went together pretty well. The Velcro is extremely strong. You don't need to use full length Velcro all the way around, just an inch or so on each of the 4 corners. Should be totally fine, because these things grab on like crazy. I was originally using the full length, but you don't need that. That would be way too much, honestly, in my opinion. And other than that, maybe move the wing up front. I'll probably try it like this, and then also try it with the wing without these extra spacers here in the rear. I don't think that's necessary. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the build. Took about, I'd say about 5 hours for all the mechanical stuff. Another hour for the paint job, another hour to do electronics. Tires I had pre-mounted, so I didn't have to take any time for that. But yeah, the build went together reasonably smooth. Just, read the directions a little more carefully and watch out for those things I pointed out. But yeah, 2-wheel drive buggies are fairly easy to put together. This is the case as well. The transmission, again, as I mentioned, was a troublesome spot in previous builds, but in this build it was fine. I would just double check that little screw that you use to hold down the camber block. You don't need to tighten it down all the way. If you tighten all the way, it will kind of lift up this camber block and make it hard to seat the top piece without binding in the transmission. So yeah, just something I would check out. Anyways, that's it for the B6.4 build. Super excited to take this out and actually run it. There will be a running footage video as well. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, and notifications buttons. Look for more videos soon, and thanks for watching.